Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over a potential wildcard draft for Game Week 22. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment what are your plans for the next game week, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, let's take a look at the goalkeeper and the defenders for the Game Week 22 wildcard draft. So in goal, we do have Raya and Fabianski. I've decided to go with Raya instead of Alisson, just simply because Alisson has not been performing very well at all lately. I know that they've got the double coming up, but we do have two Liverpool defenders instead of Alisson, and I did want to keep one Arsenal sort of defender because they do have some really good fixtures coming up in terms of like Wolves away, Leicester away, West Ham at home. I know they've got Villa and City at home as well, but they could be very cagey games, you never know. I mean, Arsenal haven't been keeping a ton of clean sheets lately, but I still really like Raya as an option because the defensive capabilities are still there. They're just missing a lot of attacking players. But at the back, they're usually okay. But like I say, just because they haven't been keeping a ton of clean sheets, I just don't think it's really worth doubling up on double Arsenal defense right now, especially because obviously we know a bit about doubles and everything like that. Sells is also a really good option as well if you wanted to go a little bit cheaper. I think Matt Sells is about 5 mil now. I think he went up in price again last night. So you could go with him. He's the best performing goalkeeper in FPL right now. Obviously, Forest are, I think, leading the line for clean sheets. I think we are one of the best defenses in the league right now. I'd probably put us higher than, right now, I'd probably put them higher than Liverpool and Arsenal. We do have Southampton at home next as well, so you'd like to think we are going to get a clean sheet from that. So if you wanted to go there instead, then you could do it. It's just, I think there's a few tricky fixtures coming up for Forest. And like Bournemouth away, always a tricky team for us. Brighton at home, Fulham away, and then it's Newcastle away. So from a defensive standpoint, I don't think it's like a necessity to have them. You really want them for the Southampton game, obviously, but after that, I just don't think it's really worth it. You could go with one instead of one of these defenders if you wanted to, and then obviously just transfer them out. But then if you don't get the clean sheet against Southampton, you're going to be kicking yourself. So that's why I've gone Raya. He is a bit more expensive, but I think the clean sheets will come, and I think you only need one Arsenal kind of defender now. And I've also gone Fabianski as well, 4.1 mil, does play in goal. Again, if you've already played your bench boost, you might not want to play Fabianski. I think it's still worth it, just having a second playing goalkeeper for an extra 0.1 more, because if anything ever happens to Raya, you always have that backup and you don't have to field 10 players instead of 11. So that's why I've gone Raya and Fabianski. At the back, we've gone Hall, Mykolenko, Trent, Munoz, and Konate. So Hall is in there just because obviously Newcastle are smashing it. 6 wins in a row. They've been keeping a ton of clean sheets. They've got Southampton away coming up in the next 3. Do have City away as well coming up, but as of right now, I'd definitely back Newcastle to beat City. And then they've got a bunch of home fixtures as well. Bournemouth, Fulham, and Forest all in the next 5 as well. So some pretty okay fixtures from a defensive standpoint. The only worrying thing about Newcastle, of course, they are most likely going to be blanking in Game Week 29. So even though that this draft that I'm showing you does have a few Newcastle players, it's not like it's an immediate thing that you need to sort out. Like, you can get all of these good fixtures in, you know, the next 5 barring City away, and then think about getting rid of your Newcastle players. It's not something that's like an immediate sort of problem. So that's why I've gone Lewis Hall. Also got Mykolenko as well. You're not really going to be playing him too much, but he's a cheap defender. He's got the double coming up. He's a 90-minute man. And that's basically the main reason, just because of the double. If they didn't have that double coming up, I wouldn't really be going anywhere near Everton defense, just simply because Spurs at home, Brighton away, Crystal Palace away, Man United at home. Not great fixtures on either side of that double. But he's only 4.3 mil, so he's a cheaper defender, and you get a double game week out of it. And one of those games is Leicester at home, so it's not terrible. Also gone Trent as well. Again, for me, I'm not completely convinced by Trent yet. He's still putting up good numbers and everything, but when you watch him play, I don't know, with the eye test, he looks a little bit off it. I don't know if the contract's getting to his head or what, but he's not taking as many set pieces. He's not getting as forward as he usually was. So yeah, it's one of those. But with the fixtures coming up, like Ipswich and Wolves at home and a double in 24, I think it'd be silly not to have him on a wild card, because you know what he is capable of. Whether he gets another 15-point haul or not, you don't know. But at this point, I think it's just worth having him for a little bit more money. Munoz is also in this as well. Just really good player to own. I know that Palace obviously potentially blanking in, I think it's Palace and Newcastle anyway, if I double check, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so it'll be 29 for Palace and Newcastle. So there'll be another player blanking, but again, it's a player that you can sort out closer to the time. And I've also gone Konate as well, just for that double Liverpool defense. Again, not completely convinced by double Liverpool defense, but I think after that Brentford game, I think Ipswich, Wolves, and then that double, I think you're at least expecting 2 clean sheets out of there. Konate did come off on like the 60-odd minute, which was a little bit worrying, but if he can make it to 60 every time, then you're fine, because if they do concede a late goal, you've still got that clean sheet with Konate. So with this week, you could just play maybe like Munoz, Trent, and Hall. I don't think I'd play double Liverpool defense this week at all, but yeah, that's what I kind of, that's what I do there. So that's the defense and the goalkeeper. In midfield, we've got Rodgers, Gordon, Palmer, Salah, and Fernandez. So a little bit different. I would love to have 2 Liverpool attackers instead, because I always like attacking doubles with attacking players instead of defenders, but you just don't know who's going to get rotated out. Like Nunez, Jota, Gakpo, Diaz, any of them can play, and there's only 2 spots on like the centre forward or the striker role, and then left wing, because you know Salah's always playing on the right. So you just don't know who's going to be playing, which is a little bit unfortunate. But Salah and Palmer obviously make the team. Rodgers, I still think he's one of the best assets to own in terms of his price. He's had like 4 or 5 attacking returns in the last 4 or 5 games, so he keeps rolling on over, which is really nice. Gordon, really good player to own right now. Newcastle, like I say, just smashing it. They've got some really nice fixtures coming up. Again, does blank in 29, but you can easily transfer him out to maybe an Mbumo or something. So I think he's got like Bournemouth away or something like that, which isn't a terrible fixture for Mbumo if you wanted to do that. Like I say, Palmer and Salah make the cut. Also got Bruno Fernandes as well. Man United look like they are playing a lot better. He's on penalties. He's a 90-minute man. You know, Brighton, Fulham, Palace, Spurs, Everton, he can haul in any of those games. And like I say, with the penalties as well, he's just a really nice asset to own. Obviously, when Saka comes back, that also comes into the equation. But as of right now, you know, Saka potentially isn't back till like March or something or whatever. That's what's being reported, like February, March. So you don't have to worry about that for a while. So you got a bunch of penalty takers in this midfield. You could go Mbumo instead of Gordon if you wanted to, but the fixtures are still like not crazy good for Mbumo. He's got Liverpool at home, Spurs at home, and Palace away in the next 3 before his fixtures get good. So you could always just keep Gordon, and then when he's got City away, you just get rid of him for Mbumo. Because that's when he's got West Ham away. So I wouldn't mind that transfer at all, and then you don't have to worry about Gordon in 29. So that's something that I would definitely think about doing. But that's the midfield, the defense, and the goalkeepers. And then up top, we've got João Pedro, Isak, and Wood. I'm recording this video before the Brighton game, so I don't know if Isak's fit or not. If he isn't, then I'd obviously go to a different striker, because you don't really want to, because if he's not going to play tonight, then he's probably not going to play on Sunday as well. You'd probably expect. So instead of João Pedro, I'd probably go for like a Raul Jimenez or something like that instead. But if he does play tonight, you know, he's a solid option. The fixtures look really good. United away, Everton at home, Forest away, Chelsea away, and then Southampton. Chelsea at home and then Southampton away. On penalties, cheap, 90 minutes at the moment, so he's a really solid option. Isak, just, you know, just ridiculous player at the moment. Absolute haul last night, which is not surprising. I feel like if he wasn't flagged, a lot more people would have captained him, but if he did captain him, fair play, because he absolutely smashed it. And I've also gone Chris Wood as well. Again, I still think, like, a lot of people aren't a massive fan of Chris Wood because the fixtures are changing slightly, but I think from an attacking point of view, he's not terrible. You've got Southampton at home, and then Bournemouth, Brighton, Fulham. If you wanted to go for somebody like Calvert-Lewin and spread the funds around a little bit more, then you could do. But I think for right now, Chris Wood, he's on penalties. He's got 13 whatever goals this season. He's a great player to own. I don't know. But that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I think the strikers kind of picked themselves a little bit. Maybe you change it slightly for Calvert-Lewin if you did want a couple more players for the double. But as of right now, this is kind of the wildcard draft that I've sort of come up for game week 22. It is, like I say, coming up to the doubles, and that's what a lot of people are going to be kind of thinking about. A lot of people are going to be triple captaining Salah in that double as well, which I probably will be doing myself. So we'll see what happens. But either way, if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 100 likes. Leave a comment. What are your FPL plans for Game Week 22? Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell. It's everything from me. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.